Chance and then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it.
Live from West St. Paul Studios, it's time for MinneZona Sports Live with DJ Matty C and Paul the Shield Vogt.
And this is MinneZona Sports Live. Yes, we are back. Episode 253, streaming on not only YouTube, but Facebook as well. Yes. For those who didn't tune in last week.
It's awesome.
And who was tuning in this week, yes, we are on Facebook, back on Facebook. We're still on YouTube. Multiple platforms for you to watch. Why the heck not, as the Curve Doctor would like to say. But without further ado, I am your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callahan, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., 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 and all the way in Granite City Studios in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Paul Vogt, Shield. What's going on there, Shield?
You know, I was feeling a little bit down here coming into tonight's show, given the fact that I learned a couple of things. Well, it seems that the only way for the Patriots to win a game is for the Vikings to lose. And the only way for the Vikings to win is for the Patriots to lose. So I'm kind of caught in between whether I should root for my hometown team, of course, the Vikings or the Patriots, but I really want both teams to win. And then I also saw a few minutes ago that actually the measurement of a buttload is actually an actual measurement. It's the equivalent of 126 gallons, believe it or not. So next time you say a buttload, you mean 126 gallons. So there's a little bit of fun fact for you here to start off the show tonight.
So with that fun fact, with the current situation, the Vikings have a buttload of injuries.
Yes, they do. They have 126 gallons of injuries right now. Yes. That's what we're getting to.
I mean, we have to go a little lighthearted to start this show, Voldy. Because, yes, that is on the docket tonight. Tater Tot Hot Take is full of Vikings talk this week. You know, we go from one high to a big-ass low. I mean, it is not good right now for our Minnesota Vikings, to say the least. But we will talk more about that tonight. We grab the gauntlet. We do the Infinity rankings tonight. And we take a look at week 2, see what what teams I think are on the top, tip top here in the NFL. And we will talk about that, and you guys can rant, you can rave, you can say, like, oh, that was genius. Oh, that was stupid. You go right ahead and judge. Then tonight, Voldy, we got a stacked array. Those damn pohlads strike again. They reduce people in the scouting department. Damn them. Damn the pohlads. We hate the pohlads. More on that later. QB injuries, not only the Vikings, but the NFL. Joe Burrow down. Not playing this weekend against the Vikings, obviously. And more quarterbacks injured, obviously J.J. McCarthy. We'll talk about that. But, yeah, a lot of injuries stacking up here in the NFL. So our next one, the NBA. NBA Europe to launch in the next 2 years? Question mark? Do we know? I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. And then also carsonbeck and nbaeurope as Heisman favorites. We will discuss who we like for the Heisman hopes. And to round things off, Paige Buckets named WNBA Rookie of the Year. We will talk about that. A great accomplishment as always. And we round things off with, always, Shield shoutouts tonight. Voldy's got a stacked deck of Shield shoutouts tonight as well. Real quick, let's give you a leaderboard update here in the Pick'em because you guys want to know, so let's do it. In first place right now, our Week 1 winner who got the MinneZona tumbler, R.J. Wilson. Congrats to him. Yes, he gets. He's 27-5. He has 270 points, and that only leads by 10. So that is a very interesting thing that has happened, and he has picked well. Week 1, he had 140 points. Week 2, 130. Very good. But for those that are very interested in this too, our second place person right now is, yes, the Mandalorian. The voice changer.
Yes, and it actually works too. Yes.
This is the way.
I like those odds.
But the leader, actually, is the person behind him, and that is Paul Valdez Shield.
Me. How you doing?
260. 260. Hey, and there's Case. I thought it was the Mandalorian. What the heck's going on here? Wow, he's got everything going on with that helmet.
Yes, he does.
It's pretty cool. Love it, buddy. Yeah. Claps all around.
Love you, buddy.
All right, so Voldy is in second, 260 points, 26-6, and not far behind Stuffage, Nathaniel Strufford. I said Nathaniel Strufford. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. And then my cousin Jason Schmitz, right behind, same points as Voldy, same record. Nakuna Matata is his name, which is good. I think that's very good to say.
Clever. I like it.
Very clever. Very clever. So, Voldy, we have a prize to give out this week.
Yes.
This is prize week. What are we giving out this week? What do you got?
Well, since it didn't go over well week 1 with giving away one of these sweet orange caps, we are going to do it again. That's right. Hunting season just right around the corner. I know those people are getting out there, prepping those deer stands, getting their feeder plots ready to go. Well, you need to make sure you are well and protected. Make sure those other hunters in the woods see you as well. That's right. We're giving away one of these bad boys right here for week number 3. Yes, week 3 with, of course, our MinneZona Sports Live hunting hat right here for you. These have been going like hotcakes. People have seen them. They want them. I've sold a few. I've made sure that those hunting parties are going to be well covered here this fall. So that's what we're giving away here for week 3. So make those picks.
Get those picks in. Yes, get those picks in. It is prize week, and obviously get those picks in throughout the season. so you can win a MinneZona bundle. Yes. So
Bingo.
bingo, bango, as someone used to say. Don't know who, but it was someone. Anyway, let's get it going with some Tater Tot Hot Take.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
It's hot, it's fresh, it's right out of the oven. But what isn't out of the oven is the Minnesota Vikings. Sunday night got absolutely demolished. They went from 100-0 real quick in the lower third, as it says. Not a good sign. It was bad. I mean, it was really bad, to be honest with you. I mean, where do we even start, to be honest? From the first drive the Vikings had, and granted, the Falcons couldn't really do much on their first drive either. The crowd got involved. Obviously, Bijan had a great couple runs, don't get me wrong. He was very good, and we just didn't have anything to really combat the Atlanta Falcons offensively. Defensively, I was impressed on some things, but the Vikings lose 22-6 at home in their home opener. So, I think I know where we can start here, Voldy. What are your thoughts here on the game? And I asked this of the zoners as well. Just kind of give me your unfiltered opinion on how you thought this all went down. We'll talk about the key points here in a second as well, with McCarthy, with the line, with the injuries and everything like that. But Voldy, why don't you give me your overall assessment of?
I mean, the Vikings had everything going for them in the direction of limiting the damage on the Falcons side offensively. They were able to get them off the field goal situations. I mean, for Parker Romo, he looked great. It was a little painful to see because of the fact that, he did play for us last year for a good stretch and made some big kicks for us down the stretch. But it just really hurt to see just all that time and effort get wasted defensively because the offense couldn't get things going on their side, and just nothing really seemed to click or get going. And now we're seeing the end of it, with it being so many injuries starting to stack up on both sides of the ball that I don't really know where we're going to be at for this Sunday and who's really going to be looking to make extensive plays for sure.
Well, a couple things that I do want to bring up as well is that when you start off the game by fumbling the ball right under center against this team, 4th and 1, I thought, and this isn't why the Vikings lost by any means, but I thought the officiating was terrible. I mean, they didn't know where the hell to put the football. We clearly had first downs, and they gave us 4th and 1, 4th and inches, and things like that, which is just ridiculous in itself. I think Jefferson had one that he clearly got it, and then McCarthy also had that run on first down, and he reached for it, and then you see in the replay that he had it, and they didn't do anything about it, which was ridiculous.
Nope.
And I think if you're going to consider those things, you can't let that phase you, right? I mean, they had a chance. They went down the field on one of their drives, and they were in scoring range, and, the O-line was absolutely, positively horrendous. It was terrible. I mean, it just got to a point where, I mean, you were shocked if J.J. McCarthy was even going to make it through the game because the line was so bad. I mean, it just got to a point where it's just like, I mean, what are we doing? It's just, it was so bad that we just had to, sit back and watch J.J. just get his butt kicked. Guys coming unblocked, which is just bad in itself, and it just seemed like our O-line didn't know what to do, especially after Ryan Kelly went down, and even before then, too, as the outside guys running unchecked. And that's a problem. We got to have extra protection. Guys got to know what they're doing. And, for Juergens, I thought he stepped in okay. He wasn't great by any means. He had some missed assignments, but, that's what's going to happen when, you don't have your full offensive line. And we were desperately missing Christian Darrisaw on Sunday night. And, it sounded like he practiced today, so that's actually a positive thing to note. So it's, our line was bad. Our defense, I will say, the one glaring need, and I don't know about you, Voldy, but I thought that their tackling was pretty bad. I know Bijan's a very elusive guy and everything like that. Like, I get that. But he should have been stopped a few times before the line or even after. But when he gets to that second level, it's hard to stop him either way. So, that's the main thing here is that there's very little to work with, room to work with when you have guys that are just throwing out arm tackles and can't bring them down. So, and again, I don't want to fully put it on the Minnesota Vikings per se, but offensive line, I should say. But with McCarthy had some bad throws. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it got to a point where he had to realize that he's got to make these throws. There's the one to Naylor that he overthrew. And then on his interception, I thought the DB made a good play. It seemed like Naylor kind of slipped too. So I guess he wasn't in fully position to bring that in. I'm not saying that wasn't McCarthy's fault because it was behind him. And, you got to put it to where your wide receiver can get it in a tight window. So it's not easy. It really isn't. So, there's that. It's just like, as my uncle used to say, and, I know Tate probably can't hear me with this, but my uncle used to say something that I think sums it up pretty well, is pretty much it was a shit show with no intermission. So, we kind of put it as that. And it just got to a point where it's just like, they're going to come back, right? Because of the Bears game, and McCarthy's going to turn it on, and no, it didn't. And McCarthy gets hurt, as we find out later on, and it just got worse from there. So, yeah, overall, Falcons definitely deserve to win. Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. were great against our offensive line. They destroyed us there. Xavier Watts had a nice interception as well. So it's on to what's going on here in week 3 is against a backup quarterback against another backup quarterback, that being Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning. A lot to be said with that. But let's talk about these injuries. This is bad beyond belief. The thing with me is, like, how many guys have had concussions these past 2 weeks? Andrew Van Ginkel was one. Jeff Okudah was one. Ryan Kelly makes 3. And I think there was someone else, too, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot to be said about this specifically. Is like, there's too many damn injuries. What is going on? So I asked this of you, Voldy. This is not how we expected the season to start out with these guys. And so I just kind of want your thoughts. Like, what do the Vikings need to do to, maybe prevent some of these big injuries? What do you got?
Honestly, I don't know if there is much they can do to prevent said injuries, and the fact that We're going to be down now, of course, with Kelly in school, who is backing up for Darisaw to begin with. And with Kelly specifically, he has a notorious streak of concussions in his career. Very well could be career ending at this point with the amount of concussions that he's had in his career, of course, with Indy before coming here. And then you also throw in the fact that Aaron Jones is banged up. The Vikings are adding Cam Akers for the third time, but it seems like the 28th time that he's going to be added to the roster. I mean, there are just so many guys coming in and coming out of the lineup. It's starting to look like a JV team at this point, just with the amount of transactions that are taking place. Not in a mean way. It's just guys just need to get healthy, and we need to figure out how we can get these guys back in the lineup as fast as possible, because I mean, we were all very high on how the season was going to start here for the Vikings, and of course, there's still a long ways to go. And one thing that I did see too that could be just a little bit reassuring, I know Adam Thielen might have put something out there, or at least there was a quote put out from Thielen talking about, you know, starting at 1-1 is not the worst thing in the world. If we were 0-2. You know, they started off 0-2, made it to the NFC Championship game, started 1-1 and missed the playoffs. And, you know, there are worse things in the world that can happen, but I feel like with these injuries stacking up early, I would much rather have them happen as early as they are, as opposed to, of course, the way things turned out last season with Darisaw going down late. You make a move for a guy in Cam Robinson. He does okay, not great. And then, of course, Aaron Jones has been very hit or miss in the lineup since he joined over too. But, I mean, there are definitely some things to make note of. But, of course, now with J.J. McCarthy being out, and, of course, we're going to probably talk about that a little bit more here, there's going to be a lot of question marks coming in. And at least it also helps that Cincinnati's in the same boat too.
Very much so. And I think, you know, let's go through this list, because I have it up here. Obviously, I said Ryan Kelly, concussion. J.J. McCarthy, his ankle. This was a high ankle sprain, I believe, to be precise. Yeah, Justin Schooley was the other guy he had a concussion. And he definitely did not, you know, he didn't play well before that either. Jonathan Grenard was a limited participant today with the oblique. He was out for like a play or two, and then he came back in. It looked like he just kind of got nicked up. Hopefully he'll be all right here come Sunday. And Donovan Jackson was a limited participant with his wrist. I don't think it's anything big there. Theo Jackson as well. Austin Keys, who was pretty much special teams. Josh Oliver's ankle, limited participant. That's not good. And then Harrison Smith, I mean, limited participant. There is a chance that he might make his debut here on Sunday, but we don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, have you heard anything about what's going on with him or any reports? I know everybody's been keeping that pretty close to the vest, but I don't need to know, but I would at least like to know, you know?
Yeah.
I know something's going on, but like, I mean, is it football related? Is it not football related? Like, what's happening here, you know?
Your guess is as good as mine at this point. I would say that it's just, I don't even know. Like, it says illness. Like, is there some mental health stuff going on? And obviously, I hope he gets the help he needs if that's the case. But it seems like it's I don't know what it is. But anyway, I think it would energize the team if he played on Sunday. But that's only if he's fully ready. Then you got Gink, who is coming back after that concussion. Hopefully he is good to go. That will help a lot. He was a limited participant, so that means that he's getting pretty close. Christian Darisaw, now this one's interesting to me, Voldy, because Darisaw, earlier in the week, people were saying, even after that game, they were saying, like, I doubt he plays on Sunday. And people were doubting that he was going to play and whatnot. But now that I see full participant in practice here, Voldy, today, makes me kind of think maybe he is ready. And if he is,
Maybe.
you know how much that's going to help. I mean, good Lord. Like, I all due respect to Walter Rouse, I think he's done a great job here in the community and everything like that. But he just, it didn't go well for him, to be honest, here this past week.
Yeah.
But having Darisaw back will help immensely if they're able to do that. So, and then to round things off, we got Jeff Okudah. He was a full participant after his concussion. So adding more secondary depth, not a bad thing as well. So, with that being said, then you have C.J. Ham. He's on IR. You have Aaron Jones, who's on IR. I mean, it's just, it keeps racking up and it getting to a point where it's like, stop getting hurt. This is not what we want to have happen. So, and like you said, maybe, in the grand scheme of things, it's happening earlier in the season as opposed to later, and then it gets a lot more tougher. So, yeah, I mean, that's so many guys that are out, and it's just, I don't even know what to say, how to prevent it and whatnot.
Right.
So let's talk about J.J. McCarthy here, and then we'll move on to Wentz, Voldy. The ankle injury, I think, came after he got twisted up on one of the sacks. No surprise there because the offensive line was like chairs. Falcons just walked right through them. I don't know if you looked at the socials medias, but I'll ask this of you. People keep saying that J.J. McCarthy is being held out because O'Connell doesn't want him to get murdered, pretty much back there. And it hasn't been a great couple games. He had the one good quarter. Yes, we get that. I still have belief in J.J. McCarthy. Before I get into anything, that was his second NFL game. And he was going through the paces and everything like that. It sucked. It was a bad game. And you know what? Yeah. You're going to have those bad games. And I just think, and to be honest, if KOC did that, I really wouldn't blame them because it is not good to be back there. But obviously, you don't want to put Wentz at risk because you don't really have anybody, besides Brosmer, who very well could be, be thrown in there if Wentz plays really bad or something like that. Desmond Ridder, like you said before, Voldy is on the roster too. So I asked this of you, Voldy, but do you believe in that notion that O'Connell's purposely keeping him out in order for him to, so he doesn't have to deal with the offensive line?
I mean, I would see it from the point of maybe not holding him out because the line is bad. Like if he's got a little ankle twinge, and if it's going to be on the same leg that ultimately had that bad knee last year, I would definitely hold him out just to make sure everything is okay, because we don't want to further damage that leg that got tore up so bad last season that he missed his entire rookie season. I would definitely feel comfortable with that if that was the explanation, or given the fact too that maybe the O-line is bad and you want to mix things up a little bit. That would definitely be something to raise eyebrows for sure. I don't really believe in, it doesn't go well. You just, you throw the rookie in there, in this case, second year guy, but of course a rookie. You throw him in there and he has to figure it out. Like, yes, he has got to go through some growing pains for sure, and definitely has to take his licks. That's part of the job, especially being an NFL starting quarterback. You're going to get hit, you're going to have some bad games, and you're going to get hit a lot. And unfortunately, it's been that case the first couple of games for him. He's made some nice plays. He's made some throws on top of it, but now you throw in maybe just a little bit of an ankle injury in there too. High ankle sprain or something along those lines, I would definitely be very cautious in making that worse, much more worse than it needs to be. So, I mean, I'm all for JJ getting a few weeks off. At least it's not going to require surgery like Joe Burrow, on the other hand, who has just been more injured than actually playing the last few years. So that is definitely something that I would keep in consideration for sure.
Yep. And I think, I don't believe that notion, and I'm with you. I don't think that necessarily he did that on the account of like, oh, he's going to get murdered back there if we keep him out. And I don't know why some people have that mindset, and they're trying to make something out of nothing. And I think keeping him out, and especially against a team that has been quote unquote hobbled as well, obviously with Joe Burrow being out for like 3 months, I mean at minimum, and it puts things into perspective because they still have a lot of talent on that offense. Brown, Chase, Higgins, I mean you name it. And then their defense, you have like Trey Hendrickson. That's like it. That's all you got. So I think, looking at this game for Wentz's perspective, I think this is an opportunity for him to be like, you know what, I have another opportunity to kind of prove myself, and let's see where it goes. And like you said before, with all the injuries too, all these guys, I mean, this isn't a bunch of long-term injuries. This is kind of like a week or two,
right? Exactly.
3-4 weeks and whatnot. And CJ Ham's been on the IR, and he'll probably get off that. I don't want it. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So maybe for the London game, I don't know if he'll fly with the team or not. But
hopefully.
I mean, hopefully. But we'll have to see. Ryan Kelly, I doubt he's playing on Sunday. It'd be great if he could. I doubt that Schooley's going to be playing, so it's going to be Rouse. It's going to be Juergens. How are you going to, make this work? And obviously with KOC and whatnot, offensively. So, enough about the injuries. Let's get right into Carson Wentz here.
Yes.
He's stepping in. You have... you still have some threats out there. You have Justin Jefferson. You have Adam Thielen. And I feel like they got to try to get Hawk in this as well. Jordan
Seriously.
Mason, I think, has been kind of one of the more consistent offensive players here this
1,000%.
past year already. And he's going to be in the starting role with Jones out. And then, like you said, Cam Akers back for the 20th time before as well. And I mean, there's weapons here. And the thing is, you got to keep him upright. Yes, he's a mobile guy, but
To his
the
own
main
detriment.
thing is, to his own detriment, exactly. And I think he can have a good game against. I mean, the Bengals defense isn't that good. You have the pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson, who got that 1-year deal or whatever. It's just... we talked about it a lot on the show, but Shamar Stewart, it sounds like he's not going to play, so then you don't have to worry about him. Logan Wilson was a limited participant, who's probably one of their better players in their linebacking core, and Cam Taylor-Britt was a limited participant, and guess what? It's a hamstring, so, I mean, Wentz has an opportunity here to do something. So, Voldy and Zoners, I asked this of you as well. I mean, is there some hope here for Carson Wentz to play really well here while McCarthy's out? What do you got?
I mean, there's always hope for Carson Wentz to play well ever since he came into the league, and was definitely a box office draw for sure when he was in Philly. It had an MVP type season, and unfortunately he gets hurt, and his backup quarterback takes him to the Super Bowl and wins. From that point, it all kind of went downhill for Carson Wentz, and maybe he started trying to play a little bit more hero ball, trying to, fit some throws into places that weren't going to go, trying to extend plays further out. He just tried a little bit too much, I feel like, in his time in the back end of Philly, when he went to Washington, when he went to the Colts, then he ended up with the Rams, last year with the Chiefs, and now here in Minnesota. I feel like with the system that he went from in LA with Sean McVay, then he goes to Kansas City, and then ultimately now here in Minnesota, I feel like with the offense that Kevin O'Connell does have, it's not too much that he can't handle. It's about making the throws, making your reads, and not turning over the football. If he can do those three things, I feel like he's going to be just fine. We've seen the career revitalizations that that KOC has done with, of course, Sam Darnold, and now we're even seeing it with Daniel Jones on top of it, even though Daniel Jones was here for feels like a hot second. Now you throw in that we pick up Carson Wentz literally right before the start of the season, and is very interesting to see how that dynamic is going to work. But I feel like KOC is going to put his full trust in Carson Wentz because he has that experience. Of course, coming into the year, we were worried about what the backup quarterback position was going to be. Was it going to be Brett Rippon or was it going to be Max Brosmer? And, well, lo and behold, it's not going to be either. I mean, Brosmer is still the third quarterback, but now we have Carson Wentz in there. How is that going to shape up? I feel like just give him some time and not force him to really have to move out of the pocket all that much. Carson Wentz can still get it done. I mean, he has nothing but experience under his belt, playing for his, boyhood team as well. That is going to be the added incentive for him coming up here on Sunday against Cincinnati.
As Bill Belichick famously said, we're on to Cincinnati. That is the main thing here is, like you said, the Vikings being able to kind of steady the ship until some of these guys get back. Now, Wentz is going to have that, is having that week of prep right now. He is working with Jets. He is working with Thielen. He's working with Hawkinson. And then, going into the next week, going into Dublin, you're getting J.A. back. You're getting Jordan Addison back. And you're getting some maybe more reinforcements. So this can play out very well for the Minnesota Vikings. And I want to make this a little bit positive because it has been super, super negative. I get it. Like, I get why people are like, is he really the guy? Is he not really the guy? Look, guys, people struggle. I mean, that's what I mean, Peyton Manning, Troy Aikman, you go through all of these quarterbacks that didn't really have the best first years, and then they get the right coaching, they get the right system in place for these guys. And it's not like JJ's sitting there being like, well, that's just how I work. No, that's not how this works. And it's like some of these people haven't learned anything from last year. Oh, Darnold can't get it done. Now everyone's saying, well, they should have held on to Darnold and everything. You got the Colin Cowherds of the world. You got Richard Sherman even saying it, that they should have held on to Sam Darnold, give him a one-year deal and everything like that. Well, he's going to follow where the money is, first of all. Yeah. And second of all, I have a beef. I forgot to bring this up earlier, but Voldy, I'm bringing this up now. And you saw this, and I was very frustrated by this. But NBC, you might be on top 10 in famous list. How many times did you have to show the 98 NFC Championship game? That was so utterly unnecessary for so many reasons. And you decided, you know what, let's bring up the past. We're going to piss off Minnesota fans. We're just going to, just make it absolutely miserable. And this was, everything they wanted this past Sunday night. The Vikings losing and not playing well and everything like that. And then let's just show the 98 championship game. You're going to be on that in famous list so quick. And we might even do it next week. Who knows? Who the hell knows?
Do.
But NBC, damn you for doing that. That is completely unnecessary. It has nothing to do with any of these players that are playing tonight. It's like, well, the history between these two teams. Well, the history between these two teams is last year, the Vikings beat them with Sam Darnold. Yeah. So why don't you show that? Huh? No clips of that.
Of course not.
Seems so, that's why.
Or how about the time we brought in Josh Dobbs on 3 days' notice and he leads a game-winning drive?
Let's put on Taylor Swift. Let's put on Taylor Swift on our cover photos and everything like that. But Josh Dobbs comes in, has an awesome comeback, and there's like nothing to be said. Zero.
Shout out to the Pastor.
Zero. Shout out Pastor. Yes. So anyway, if we've learned anything, KOC is going to have a good game plan for Carson Wentz. The thing is for what Carson Wentz has to do is not screw it up. That's all we ask. Don't screw it up. That's all
Seriously.
we can, really say. You have Mason. Use that run game. It's effective. He was great. Now, Ty Chandler's probably not playing because he's injured. Whoop-de-doo again. And then you have Xavier Scott, who I thought played well in the preseason. And then you got Cam Akers, which KOC loves Cam Akers. So he's around.
He's around.
He's around. So that's kind of what we got for this upcoming game. I really want to say they're going to win, but I don't know. I got a feeling it could be a big disaster or it's going to be a huge success. Like, it's going to be insane.
There is no in-between.
There really is no in-between.
You're going to win by 20 or lose by 20. That's Minnesota Vikings football right there. I am of the mindset. I'm of the mindset that I look at this matchup on paper. Jake Browning has been there long enough in Cincinnati, and he's played many a game. It's not like, this is his first start in 4 years. No. He's been in the mix quite regularly because Joe Burrow can't make it through a full season healthy, even though he was a serious contender for the MVP last year. Browning has had plenty of starts in the past few years, and for Carson Wentz, he's been here a month and a half at the very most, 4 or 5 weeks, and of course the offense is, KOC is going to make the offense as comparable as it can be to showcase the best that Wentz does have to offer, but with a patchwork offensive line. You've got weapons. You just need to get them the ball. Defense on the other side that does have pass rushers, but is hurting on a few back end spots. It's either up 20 or down 20. I want to say that the Vikings are going to win too.
Well, let's give you claps because we got to have something positive to say. You know what I mean? It's just we got to, and it's gotten to the point where it's like, what do we do? What do we do? Seriously. So
who do we piss off?
Yeah. Well, the national media hates us already, so we got that going for us. Anyway, that's going to do it. Skol Vikes, I think, you know what? I'm going to say they're going to win, too. I'm just going to do it. And you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and we go in and we go face Old Man Rogers and his crew and then tear it up.
At least it's international, so.
Yeah, it's true. And the Vikings are undefeated in international play. So.
That they are. And they play back-to-back. First time ever. First team ever to play back-to-back international games.
That's right. So it'll be fun a couple weeks here to see how this all goes. So get guys back healthy.
I'm assuming that they'll stay over there, right? Is that a safe?
They are staying. Yes, they are staying over.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they're staying. Dublin, and obviously they'll fly to London. And take on the Browns, who you want to talk about more of a train wreck? Just look over there.
Who knows? Maybe Shadur will be starting by then. That'd be fun.
You never know. So
I'd be down.
That'd be a cool matchup, I'd say. Wentz versus Shadur Sanders. Or maybe McCarthy. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take.
Oh, and to the people that say that we should flex the game on Sunday to 4 a.m., go fuck yourself, honestly. We don't get a choice. We have to watch this game. Okay? Just because your team's starting quarterback is fully healthy, the only problems that you guys have is which hat you want to wear on Sunday or what kind of side dish you're going to make. We got problems in saying that our team is less than the team that you cheer for and saying, nah, you should play at 4 a.m. Sure, I'll be up at that time regardless if it was a kickoff at 4 a.m. or not. You don't need to kick us while we're down. Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz this Sunday. I will watch fully, intently, and be ready to cheer my head off. And I have to remind myself that it's a noon game because of the fact that the last 2 weeks have been prime time, odd games, which has worked out very well scheduling-wise, at least in my household. But I'll be ready regardless come Sunday.
That's what we want to hear. So we'll see how it goes. So going off the Vikings, we're sticking with NFL. But Infinity rankings tonight, just to say the least, it's very interesting because you look at some of these teams. There's some that have started off red hot, and there's some that have, and then just kind of had bad luck. I would say. So I'm kind of in the camp of it was tough to kind of rank these teams this time around, and I'm just curious what you guys think of that as well. And I think it's you take it for what you will. And again, if you don't like it, then let us know. Throw it in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever you want to do. So let's get it going with some Infinity rankings.
While many have power rankings, none have captured them all. It's time for Matty C's Infinity Rankings.
So I will say, I kind of dropped the ball a little bit because I didn't have the gauntlet by me. I had to go grab it. So anyway, since I know people are waiting and really want to see the gauntlet, here it be. Yes, the Thanos gauntlet for Matty C's Infinity Rankings. That's right. Check out the lights. I mean, they're just so cool. It's just awesome thing. Why did I buy it? Because for the show. Why the hell not? Anywho, week 2. We're already in week 2. It's been a little bit since we've done Infinity rankings, so let's get into it. Let's do our drum roll here, Voldy, if I can find it for one. Let's bring it up here. Obviously, have both of us and. Boom! There it be. Yes, the Infinity rankings. This is
Interesting.
I think this is not a bad list. It took me a little bit. Trust me, it took me longer than some of the other times I've done Infinity rankings per se. So I'm gonna put this over to the side so you guys can see. Maybe I have to move a little bit. There we go. Number 6, I have the Detroit Lions. Now, that week 1 was not good. I mean, they got their butts kicked by Green Bay, and it sucks to say that, but it's true because they couldn't do anything. Offensively, they weren't great. Defensively, I thought they got exposed. And I also think too that the offensive line is a little bit of a concern now because they've lost a couple guys to retirement or whatever. So now you look at this team going in against Chicago, and Chicago, if they did a couple things better against the Vikings, they would have maybe edged out the Vikings, but they didn't. So they got J.J. McCarthy, and Mitch is hating it right about now. But anyway, to be said about that, the Lions absolutely decimated the Bears. I mean, they went in there at home, and they're like, no, we're still them. And they put up 52 or whatever it was. And I think this was a message to send to the rest of the league saying, like, we still got it. It's just we didn't play well week 1. We're going to prove it to you, and they sure as hell did. Gibbs was fantastic. Goff threw like 5 touchdowns. Amon-Ra had 3. Thank you, Amon-Ra, by the way, for my fantasy team. Not that anybody cares. But, anywho, the Lions are at 6. I still think they need to maybe prove a little bit to see where they're at. Number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I debated on, I almost kind of had them up higher. And I go back to that Bills game, Voldy. And they pretty much had it. Lamar was unstoppable. Offense was really humming. Defensively, very disappointing. They had them right where they want them. And then they give up all these points and everything like that. They can't make tackles. Burnt Toast Alexander got exposed again. And it snowballed and everything like that. And they should have won that game. And they didn't. So then they go into Cleveland. Okay, this is a good pick-me-up game. But as Voldy famously has said here on this show and the previous show, is trap game. Trap game. You never know. Trap game. And that was kind of like that for the Vikings. It was a trap game. So, but the Ravens were like, nah, we got this. And they kicked Cleveland's butt as well. I think offensively, you have to look at Baltimore and say, oh boy, if their defense can make more stops and can, do some things, this is a dangerous team. So they're on that brink, but can they break through? We'll see. I'm really sorry I had to put this damn team up here, and that is the Green Bay Packers. I have to admit, I really have to admit, they look really good. And it's not just because of Micah Parsons, but what they've been able to do offensively. Jordan Love's actually been playing pretty well. But at this point in time, yeah, they beat the Lions, which is another good team. They beat the Commanders, another good team. But Jaden Daniels was a little hobbled. But it's neither here nor there. But I just think they look like a complete team. Defensively, they look a lot better than they did last year so far. But I also know, too, that, I'm still under the belief that Jordan Love can't get it done. They don't have very many receivers. Tucker Kraft has had a couple good games. He's had a couple touchdowns, good for you. But can you get it out to Golden? Can you get it out to Jaden Reed's hurt now? Can you get it out to guys that, like Dobbs, like Wicks and everything like that? They've been known to drop a lot of footballs. Just putting that out there. So there's question marks. Obviously, Parsons is Parsons. He's going to get his and whatnot. But, yeah, they're at 4. They're probably like, why aren't they at 1? Why aren't they at 2? It's because, you know what? You guys haven't proved anything yet to me. But you're up there on the list, unfortunately. Number 3, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Voldy. The Buccaneers. Baker looks good. Oh, man, he looks good. And even in those moments of, we got to get this drive, we got to, get it done, he did it twice. He did it against the Falcons, and he did it against the Texans. And that, my friends, is impressive. And again, I know the Falcons are still trying to, figure things out, and I get the Texans they're kind of on that precipice and whatnot, but man, Baker's been really slinging it, and their defense is still, one of the tops in the league. They were kind of leaky Monday night, but I honestly liked everything that I saw from the Bucs. They have stud wide receivers. They brought in Ibuka or something like that, the guy from the draft, and he looks good. Evans looks good. Godwin's coming back. This is a very interesting team and a team to look out for. And I have them over the Packers because they have a pretty good offensive line too. And Bucky Irving's a nice running back. That's why I have them at 3. So, number 2, the Buffalo Bills, because no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. So, they offensively look good. Defensively, they I know they played the Jets this past week, but they played the Ravens, and they played well. Their offense looks good. James Cook looks good. Their wide receivers, everyone's getting involved, whether it's Shakir, whether it's Keon Coleman. These guys are, getting it done. And Josh Allen's been doing everything in his power, and he's so damn good. He's so damn good. So I got the Bills at 2, and I think that it's deserving because I think they've been complete on defense as well. They've played a lot better. So, yeah, they're at 2. Number 1, this one pains me a little bit to say this, but, this will make my Philadelphia family happy. But the Eagles are at number 1. And people are wondering, can they do this? Can they repeat? Can they, be as good as they were last year? Well, Saquon looks damn good. He was playing really well against Dallas. And not only that, but, they go up against the Chiefs and, he was bottled up in that Super Bowl. He comes out there, he has a long touchdown run, he's making plays and whatnot. The thing that does concern me, though, for that team is, are they going to be able to get the ball out to Brown, to Devontae Smith? He's been kind of dealing with some light injuries as well. Brown really hasn't gotten the ball. I don't know how well that's going to go over these next few weeks if he doesn't. So I look at this Eagles team, and there's some things to be a little concerned about, but I also know that they know how to figure it out when the moment's right, and they have the defense, they have the offensive line, and they got Saquon, and they just added Tank Bigsby. We talked about it last week, so yeah, I got the Eagles at 1. I hate to do it, but that's what I got. So Lions 6, Ravens 5, Packers 4, Buccaneers 3, Bills 2, and the Eagles at 1. So, Zoners, let us know what you guys think, and I throw the question over to Voldy. Voldy, what do you think?
I think a little bit too much love to the side of, just ultimately with the opposers that are in said division with the Vikings and the Lions and the Packers. No love for the Chargers, I guess we can just put that out there. Even
I considered. They were 7,
yeah,
I think.
I was going to say they're probably number 7 there, but I mean, the Eagles are hard to stop, even though they had a couple of questionable starts here to the season for them. Bills, for sure, cardiac comeback kids, and then they blow out the Jets in week 2. See what happens here in week 3 against Miami. Most likely another blowout, too. Buccaneers, sneaky good. A lot of people kind of high on them. Denver, also a team that can certainly be in the mix there. I know a lot of people are very high on Denver this season, but Buccaneers are certainly in the conversation of being a representative out of the NFC for the Super Bowl. Of course, they got to get past the Eagles for sure. Packers, Ravens are very interesting, very hot or cold for sure, because the fact that they got for sure against the Bills, and then this past week, the fact that, Derrick Henry did not have the greatest performance against Cleveland, and they still found a way to win. Very interesting to see for Lamar in squad. And then the Lions, take one on the chin week 1, but then, reverse fade and, put up 50 against Chicago. Very interesting to see. Overall, I don't have a lot of concerns over it. Just, definitely a few teams that are certainly worth being in the conversation for sure.
I wonder how Hanley's handling being a Chiefs fan right about now.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
0-2. Yeah. I haven't heard from him. I will say it's been quite interesting. But yeah, that's what I got, guys. Agree, disagree. It don't matter. Matty C in 5. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, that'll do it for Infinity Rankings this time around. We will post this at some point with the rankings as well, so keep in tune with that. Let's preview ARA. Guys, we got to talk about those damn pohlads again. We got to. They fired more people for their faults of their own. We'll talk about that to start off. And then not only the Vikings dealing with injuries, but QB injuries piling up in the NFL. Voldy and I have some thoughts on that for sure. The NBA Europe to launch in the next couple of years. It might happen. We'll see. We'll talk about that. And then carsonbeck, Mateer leading as Heisman favorites. We'll discuss that as well. And to round things off, we got Paige Buckets named WNBA Rookie of the Year. So shout out to her as well. We'll talk about that awesome accomplishment. So let's get it going. Let's stop. Observe or approved.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
All right, it is time for Absurd or Approved. So, Voldy, why don't you rattle them off for us, please?
Well, we start off in the world of Major League Baseball and the Minnesota Twins after officially being eliminated from playoff contention on Tuesday night. More news coming out as the Twins did make the announcement, at least front office is downsizing their pro scouting department from 5 employees down to just 1 employee. 4 members being released, including John Manuel, Ken Compton, Keith Storr, and Jose Marzan. Now, Compton been with Minnesota for the last 15 seasons, while Marzan 30 years with the Minnesota Twins as well. Sad to see, of course, now just more cost-cutting measures from the Pohlad family. Of course, now relying heavily, instead of traveling to road games and being in person for scouting, now relying more on video scouting as opposed to the good old days of going and actually seeing players play. Now, with the more cost-cutting factors that have taken place in recent months, if you will, with the Twins being traded 40% of their roster at the trade deadline, now you throw this into the mix and trying to save pinch pennies here and there. Is it absurd or approved? This move in dwindling down their scouting department will help the Twins going forward.
The more things change, the more they stay the same, as a person once said. God, how do I even want to start out with this? Well, first of all, this is the penny-pinching ways of those Pohlads. Granted, they're guys that have been there with the team for a long time. I mean, don't get me wrong, and they without them, Buxton, what was another guy? Keschel, the list goes on. Mauer, I mean, for goodness sake, like they've brought in good players. It's just they haven't added anybody after that because they're because they're limited. And this kind of says to me that that they don't have any plans to really do anything with this. They think, oh, well, let's get rid of these old timers and add these video analytics and stuff like that into this, and we'll definitely win the fans back here. You haven't won down anybody.
Right.
There have been record lows at Target Field. And you think, well, let's just get rid of our scouting department, and then people will be like, oh, there's hope that they can, this new group can get these prospects. It's like, you've been saying that for years. Nothing's changed here. It's just the Pohlads don't have money, apparently, because they're in debt, and they need to try and save some. Yeah, they're on the Forbes list and everything like that, with profit and whatever. I'm not a big money guy, to be honest, but I mean, how do you look at this situation and think this is what's going to bring fans back to Target Field? No. What's going to bring fans back to Target Field is you guys selling the team. It's that simple. This isn't a situation where it's like, oh, we're going to do all we can to win back. You can't win anybody back now. You went against your word. You couldn't sell the team, and this is what you do instead. You say, we're just going to cut the scouting and everything like that. We're just going to start over and add some new people and see how it goes. You're still going to do the same thing you've been doing ever since you've owned this team, Pohlads. And you have completely and utterly turned it into the joke of the MLB. I mean, good Lord. You have guys that no one knows who's playing. No one knows any of these guys, to be completely honest. And they don't even want to be there.
Right.
So they can't even read the room. So they eliminate 4 out of the 5, like you said. It was a significant reduction in the Scouts' travel budget in previous years, and it's just like this is Pohlads all over again. I mean, they have nothing to try and make this team better, but let's just chop off all these other scouts and do something different. this is definition of a shit show with no intermission. I mean, it really is, and it's baffling to me. And if they're going to try and get people excited for next year, no one is. How are they going to be successful next year? What's the plan? I'd like to know. Wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. So, absolutely. Let's answer your question though. I don't want to go in on these guys because I already have, but this move, no, it's absurd. It's not going to. It really isn't, and the only time that it's going to is if they sell the team, and they're not going to put butts back in seats. I can tell you that much. So, season ticket holders are already canceling tickets and stuff like that. Yep. So, good luck. Voldy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this move is definitely absurd just because, not even from the talent evaluations perspective, but just, people that have been loyal to the Twins for so long, 15 years for one guy, another 30 years for another guy. These guys have been through the highest to highs and the lowest to lows. Sure, maybe their jobs have been questionable, to say the least, but definitely, of course, this is a results business and the results haven't been there. That isn't fully their fault. It's definitely not fully the fault of the ownership. But at the end of the day, who's the one that's going to be, falling on the axe? It's certainly not going to be the Pohlad family. They're just going to cut and run while they best they can, in hopes that they can get some more money and maybe attract a new investor or something that will definitely, or some people that will, take a liking to and maybe want to invest in the team a little bit more, because the well is running dry for the Twins and the ownership that is the Pohlad family for sure. Yeah, this move is definitely not going to help them in the long run of everything.
And the only, like we said, the only way is if they sell, and they're not. It doesn't seem like they're going to, and I think fans are just going to be like, what? Then we don't care. If you don't care, we don't care.
Yep,
it's that simple. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, we head back to the world of the NFL. Of course, we've talked extensively about the injury for J.J. McCarthy. He will be out this Sunday, bringing in Carson Wentz. Well, the Vikings not the only team dealing with starting quarterback injuries and possibly going in a different direction. Of course, we talk about the matchup with Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is going to be out at least 3 months with a turf toe injury. That brings in Jake Browning, former Viking as well. A few other teams going to be battling with some issues as well, potentially in the likes of our nation's capital with the Washington Commanders and quarterback Jaden Daniels with the left knee injury that did hamper him a little bit. He's at day-to-day right now. Backup quarterback currently, Marcus Mariota in Washington. And then you also throw in the fact that it was announced today that the New York Jets are going in a different direction, not because of lack of production from Justin Fields. No. He is actually have been ruled out this Sunday due to a concussion. Tyrod Taylor is back yet again. And, of course, former Missouri quarterback Brady Cook will be serving as the backup for Tyrod Taylor in Gang Green in New York. Now, with all these moves taking place, I feel like there was probably one other team that was dealing with some quarterback injury concerns. But with that being into the mix now of all the teams dealing with injuries this early in the season for their starting quarterbacks, whose injury is more detrimental to their team coming up here week 3 this week?
It's a great question. For just this week, I feel like the obvious answer in this situation is the Bengals with Joe Burrow. But I also know too that Jaden Daniels is dealing with a knee injury as well. His status is iffy. Like you said, Mariota's the backup, and I think they could go a game or two without Jaden Daniels. And then Justin Fields, who I won't call Bustin' Fields because he's actually played pretty well. I got to give him some credit there as well. But, the concussion stuff is, it's going to be at least a week or 2, maybe even 3 if it's that severe. But, Tyrod Taylor, he gets another opportunity. I'm still – I got a lot of respect for that guy. He's backing up guys, and when he comes in, he has some production. He's not a complete scrub or anything. It's just he's just not a starter per se. A long-term starter, I should say. Yeah, I think I think I just got to go with the Burrow one because, look, you invested a lot of money into him, Chase, Higgins, and now Hendrickson. And that eats up at least 75% of your cap. And one of them's hurt and out for a long time. And now you got to bring in Browning, who, yeah, he filled in nice when Burrow was hurt. But, you know, are they going to be a playoff team? I don't know. I mean, you got to get Jamar Chase and Higgins the ball and Brown and whatnot. Mm-hmm. You have weapons there. There's no debating that. But down the road, I just think people are going to start to figure out how to stop guys like Jake Browning and whatnot. So I think it's the Bengals. I think this hurts them the most, especially all of that work that they had to do in order to bring a bunch of these guys back. They don't have the defense. They don't have the offense. And I'm not saying that because the Vikings are playing them and I want the Vikings to win. Obviously, I do. But I'm saying that for the long term as well. Even if they do beat the Vikings, there's going to be teams that they got to still take on the Ravens. They still got to take on, Pittsburgh and everything like that, and that's always tough. And they haven't done well against the Browns. Yes, they did beat the Browns, but they didn't play well against them either.
No.
So, I'm going to go with Joey B going down for sure. But Jane Daniels, I'm not too concerned about that. Justin Fields, I mean, they need everything they can get in New York right now. So, yep. I'll say Burrow. So, Voldy, who do you got?
Yeah, all these injuries really hurt each team as a whole, but the one that is definitely most concerning is Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, just because they have been off to a much better start this season than they have in probably the last 3 or 4 seasons, at least winning in the month of September, because they got off to such a bad start last year and literally had to fight all the way up until, the final week to even sniff a chance at possibly getting into the playoffs without some help here and there. But now coming into it, of course, a little bit of some rocky games to say the least. But if you're Cincinnati, you'll take a win 9 times out of 10. Hell, even 11 times out of 10, they'll take wins, whether it be 55-3 or 17-16 like we saw in week 1. They'll take the wins where they can get them, especially getting off to a much better start than the year. Now you throw in the turf toe injury for Joe Burrow. That kind of derails things a little bit, but like I talked about earlier, Jake Browning, he's no stranger to starting with this squad, especially with the, top players, of course, with Chase and Higgins and Gesicki, Chase Brown, Yoshi Voss as well. You throw those guys into the mix. He's started plenty over the last few years with, of course, Burrow battling through injuries on top of it. So it's not like he's coming into this, completely new, first start in 4 or 5 years. No, he's in there. He's getting comfortable, and it could be a bit of a seamless transition. Of course, still not the playmaker that, Joe Burrow is, but it is going to hurt in the grand scheme of everything. I mean, Jake Browning, not exactly you can have a team have him lead you through the playoffs, but at least keep you relevant enough for when Burrow does come back. When fully healthy, he could definitely pick up right where he left off. But I think that the injury right now is definitely more concerning towards the side of Cincinnati.
Yep, and it's, if he can keep him upright and he gets back and everything's good, we'll see. You never know. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, we head to the world of the NBA and professional basketball as a new basketball league based in Europe for the NBA and the FIBA contingent that runs international basketball play are working together to launch a league that could begin play either in 2027 or in 2028, though a timeline has not been fully finalized. It is an ambitious start for 2027, as quoted by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, as he reiterated previous comments that a timeline could be 2 or 3 years, pointing out that, of course, existing arenas across Europe could be used at the beginning until more modern infrastructure could be set up as well. Of course, we've seen the growth of the game internationally with, of course, great players like Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, to name a few that have made substantial gains on the international side. Of course, Dennis Schroeder as well from Germany on top of it, just to name some of the premier international talents that have played in the NBA over the last few years and seen the growth of the game with basketball as a whole. But with all of that being thrown into the mix, is it absurd or approved with this new league that'll fall under international play with the NBA in it? Is it absurd or approved? Will this league be a success for even further growth of the international game in basketball?
Well, I like you said, there's a lot of guys that are coming from overseas that have been very successful. You look at Luka, you look at Victor Wembanyama, you look at Jokic, you look at like Schroeder. I mean, there is a lot of Rudy Gobert, just to name a few. And this, I feel like the game has really grown. Not only, obviously, in the U.S., it's been like that, but, overseas. I mean, it has been, something that I feel like this can, I'm kind of shocked it hasn't been, like, associated. I mean, it kind of is, but this kind of solidifies, like, hey, European League, this is, kind of what we're thinking of. This will kind of get more people overseas involved. I mean, Giannis. I mean, there's so many ways. There's so many players you can get from that, and then also bring to the States as well, if they so choose. But yeah, I'll say it. It's got my stamp of approval. I really think that it's going to be a success. I think this makes sense. You have a lot of international eyes that watch the game. And I think Ant went to China or it was either China or Japan. I can't remember which one.
One of the two.
But one of the two. And the fan base there were just having a blast with Ant and whatnot. And, I mean, this is very popular in Europe. So, yeah, it's got my stamp of approval. I think it will be very successful. So, Voldy, what do you think?
I think this is definitely a step in the right direction for the NBA. Of course, they definitely want as much more money in their pockets as possible. We've seen, of course, all these great players come from Europe. About 1 in every 6 current NBA players is European, as a fun fact to throw out there as well. And, of course, with the substantial play that we've seen, of course, the MVP race is no short of international flavor, too, with Jokic and Antetokounmpo as well, who've combined for 5 of the last 7 MVP awards. On top of it, there's no shortage of European talent, and this would definitely draw a lot more eyes for the NBA to, look overseas for, potential stars in the making beyond what's here, homegrown on top of it, but maybe even throw in an opportunity for players here that want to, maybe stay and find a different way to, continue to play the game that they love by playing internationally or overseas. If this can be some sort of like feeder system for the NBA, vice versa as well, send a guy down instead of going to G League, you can send him to Europe or whatever and let him get some, get some opportunity in playing time over there. A lot of things still to be considered in the next couple of years, a little bit ambitious, but I would definitely say it's got my stamp of approval as well.
Yep, like we said, as long as they're making money, they ain't complaining. So, let's go to the next one, Voldy.
Well, we head to the world of college football. Of course, at the start of the season, it was Arch Manning this, Arch Manning that. When's he going to win the Heisman? What's his Heisman moment going to be? Well, now things are starting to take a little bit of a turn with the less than thrilling performances that Arch has put out since the beginning of the season. Now a couple of other guys have taken the front row spots that accompany a Heisman favorite, if you will. Of course, Oklahoma quarterback and DJ Vold's absolute favorite college football player at the current moment. This guy loves Johnmateer more than he hates PJ Fleck. Fun fact as well, DJ Vold, a PJ Fleck hater. Can't really understand that, but nonetheless, loves him some Johnmateer from Oklahoma. I can see why. The other front runner as well, Miami quarterback Carsonbeck in his first season for the Canes down in South Florida with, of course, his time at Georgia coming to an end. With those two gentlemen being the front odds makers right now, johnmateer sitting at a plus 850 odds, while carsonbeck at a plus 700 in odds to take home the Heisman. With those two guys in the mix, who's more likely to take home the Heisman by the end of the season, johnmateer or carsonbeck?
Ooh, that is a great question because, I do like Mateer. I've seen some of his stuff. I haven't seen a lot of it, but what I'll say is Beck's a guy that you can't count out. I feel like Beck has really done a great job with the Hurricanes. He's thrown 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions so far. They had that big one against USF, or University of Southern Florida, I should say. And he, I think he's definitely up there. Now, there's a couple guys that I think we need to keep an eye on, though, too. Let me throw a name out here. Lenoris Sellers, I feel like, is interesting choice as well. I feel like he's a guy that we can't count out from that perspective. And then a guy that I've kind of had my eye on a little bit, Voldy, Garrett Nussmeier, the LSU QB,
yes.
I think is a guy that could get into the contention here of winning the Heisman as well. So I really haven't watched much of Mateer, but I will say that I will keep an eye on now. I trust your brother's judgment. I really do. I think I agree with him. I'll take a look and see. This might change. I might change my pick, but I'm going to go with Beck. I think Beck has the best chance at winning it because, he's again, he went from Georgia to Miami, and I feel like he's kind of the name that's a little bit more well-known and whatnot, but you can't discount the fact that Mateer has been balling out as well. I'm going to say it's going to be Beck, but keep an eye out for Nussmeier and Sellers. I think those guys could sneak into this race too. And if our Arch, maybe if he can figure it out, who knows? So, Voldy, who do you got?
Yeah, I look at this opportunity, of course, now with carsonbeck at the helm for the Canes. Last year it was Cam Ward, and he certainly got them to a relevant spot. Now, if it's going to be anyone to get them over the hump and be much more relevant and hopefully get them back into the national conversation as well, I feel like carsonbeck is definitely a guy to do it. And then you throw in johnmateer, too, coming over abroad, of course, his offensive coordinator, his quarterback coach, too, to Oklahoma, and definitely a program that needs to stay a little bit more relevant after last season in the SEC. Down year, to say the least, but definitely wants a little bit more. And if johnmateer can be the guy to do that, I'm going to have to be in the same boat with DJ on top of it. This guy can absolutely spin it, and he can rip that ball, too. I am all for johnmateer being my front runner at Heisman and bring it home. As much as I'd like to see carsonbeck do it, johnmateer just does it for me, and I can see why. I mean, I am all for it. He's got to be my favorite on top of it. Between the two, I got johnmateer taking it home.
I got to watch more stuff on him then, because if you guys are saying he's the real deal, I got to check it out. So I will definitely take a look at that. johnmateer. I like the name, too. Fun name. All right, last one of the whole day.
All right, we head to the world of the WNBA with the regular season wrapped up. Dallas Wings guard and Minnesota native Paigebueckers was named the 2025 WNBA Rookie of the Year, becoming the 7th former UConn player to receive the award, and 70 out of 72 first-place votes from the media poll, while it was a near unanimous decision. Of course, a number 1 overall draft pick in this April's draft after leading the Huskies to a national championship, averaging in 36 games, 36 appearances, 19 points per game, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and just over 1.5 steals on just 47% shooting from the field. Paigebueckers does bring home the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Of course, with her play down in Dallas and trying to get that team over a bit of a rough start that they had, and being a much more relevant squad in the Western Conference. Is it absurd or proof with the play of Paigebueckers? Is this the first step for Beckers in becoming an MVP caliber player in future seasons?
Ooh, that's a great question. And hell yeah, it's got my stamp of approval. Hell yeah. Paigebueckers, Paige Buckets, has been doing this for a long time now. Obviously we've seen her from high school to college, now to the WNBA. And this is just the first, this is only the beginning, as a lot of people have said. And she's well deserving of it. And obviously you rattled off her stats there, Voldy, and I think that she is, I know that it's like, oh, but she's not Caitlin Clark. She doesn't have that icon status and everything like that. Well, you better get to know that Paige Buckets doesn't take crap from no one, and she is a baller, my friend. She can hit it from anywhere. She can shoot from three, jump shot, take it to the rack and everything like that. She is a team player, obviously, and she has been fantastic for the Wings. I mean, I think she'll be MVP at some point. I don't know if it'll be next year. I don't know if it'll be the year after that. But it is very possible that Paigebueckers could win the MVP maybe in 2-3 years. I think it's very possible from that perspective. People, the national media, I should say, will say, well, she had that bad injury in college and everything like that. It's like, so Stephon Diggs did, and guess what? He was he's been a top wide receiver in the NFL for a while. And
that injury was like 4 years ago, believe it or not.
And there's people that doubt that she's injury prone. Oh, JJ McCarthy's injury prone. It's like, shit happens, like it's that simple.
And yet nobody's batting an eye about Caitlin Clark. I'm just saying.
Right. Just saying, we're not trying to knock her down by any means. But
no. It's
something.
Can't catch a break.
It's something to keep in mind. But I think she'll win MVP in like 2-3 years. I'm calling my shot. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended. Why not? So, all right, Voldy, what do you got?
I mean, this is definitely a good step in the right direction. I think you get a couple more players around her. Of course, she still has Skylar Diggins down there. Also, definitely very considerate for her to be in the right position. Now, make that team a little bit more better around her. It could certainly be a good opportunity for her to not only be in the MVP conversation, get the team to the playoffs, maybe even a few years down the road, we're looking at them into title consideration. But still, a lot of things need to go right for Beckers down in Dallas. But I think this is definitely a strong point for her to be in a great situation for her, especially after a, very extended college career for sure. Had a few opportunities. She could have won a national championship. Shoot, I think her freshman or sophomore year before she got hurt, coming back from that, leading to a national championship, being the number 1 overall pick. She could have left school at least 2 or 3 times during her career to go pro, but decided to stick it out and, of course, win a title. But now definitely great to see her get the recognition that she definitely deserves. It's got my stamp of approval. I think in a few years we'll definitely be in that conversation talking about MVP award for Paigebueckers, definitely.
Yes, congrats to her. Well deserved. And you never know. She might end up being with the Lynx. I mean, no one would say no to that.
Nope.
We'll take it. So, anyway, great job with ARA this time around. And as always, Voldy. We got Shield shoutouts tonight. We got a good smattering of Shield shoutouts tonight. So, I say we get it going with some Shield shoutouts.
Shield shoutouts.
All right, it is time for Shield shoutouts. So, Shield, who you shouting at tonight?
Well, of course, we do have to give a shield shout out to friend of the program, Jason Schmitz. Of course, his Rams are holding up their end of the bargain with performance, and he held up his own end of the bargain with a new patch that has been delivered to my household from the Appleton Police Department. Definitely a bigger fan of their old patches as opposed to their new ones, but very well appreciated, and thank you again to Jason for the additional patch to the collection, up to 136 now in the collection as a whole. Do have to send a thank you and a shield shout out to Brian and Donna Lommel, as I've been drinking out of this vessel tonight. A nice personalized canned koozie, Granitecitylumberjacks on one side, Bitstream Digital Media on the other. If I can get it fully around there, I don't know how my wrist doesn't work, but this is in recognition of our 2024 TV production of the year from the NA3HL, and a reminder of that. So myself, the Lammels, Joe Clements, Eric Altena, and a few others received those. And of course, a bag of candy. I got candy corn this year because I am of the pro candy corn initiative, not the negative, and the anti-candy corn agenda will not be represented on this show in any way, shape, or form. But a big thank you to the Lommel family as well, and for also picking up some sweet bison gear for Tate. It's a size 3. He's just getting into a size 2, but it'll look good on him. Maybe coming up here next fall, maybe even sooner than that, with, of course, Tatey representing NDSU. And sadly, we have to finish things off here tonight with a rest in peace to Academy Award-winning actor Robert Redford. Among his many notable roles in the world of TV and film, he played Roy Hobbs in the baseball movie The Natural, and for anyone who has either read the book or seen the movie, read the book in high school, seen the movie as well, knows the story of how the story ended with Roy Hobbs hitting that amazing home run that knocked out the stadium lights at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. But there was actually a story behind the scenes, and Matt, I don't know if you've heard this story or not, from the end of Robert Redford. Towards the end, of course, it was a tough battle. Roy Hobbs injured, hurting himself at one point, and with the bat, Wonder Boy, the bat. And there was going to be, the old movie magic as well. Redford takes a swing, and on a long shot that was going to end up a foul ball, but they were just going to take video, or they were going to record him swinging, and they were going to throw a ball into the outfield. And, Redford was like, I've been doing pretty well as of late. Let me actually do it. See if I can hit one. And it just so happened that the scene where Redford hits the ball, it goes foul, and I believe the stadium was up in Buffalo, where it was a long hit foul ball, and the bat actually broke. That was actually hit by Robert Redford. That was not movie magic. That's how that story goes. And, of course, the bat breaks. The bat boy comes up. Roy Hobbs says, well, pick me a winner, Bobby. And the bat that the bat boy actually carved with the help of Roy Hobbs was the one on the very next pitch, hit the home run to win the game. End of story from there. But sadly, Robert Redford did pass away at the age of 89 this week. And that is going to do it for Shield Shoutouts.
Yes, love that. I did not know that, so thanks for passing that along. I had no idea. Voldy, you have another person that is very into the candy corn, and that being Nick Dahlhoff. Hell yeah, to candy corn representation.
You know what's even better than candy corn, Matt?
Yeah.
Candy pumpkins. Fantastic.
Candy pumpkins. Yes, I do like those too. I'm on your side. I like them too. People are like, they're nasty and stuff. It's like frosting to me. I don't know.
Exactly. People say it tastes like wax. Those people are
wrong.
It doesn't taste
like it. What, do you eat wax, people, or what?
Yeah, how do you know what wax tastes like?
Yeah, it's kind of
probably ate
up.
glue in school, too.
Something like that.
I'm getting nothing but side-eye and eye rolls from creative consultant Mrs. Sarah Ann Tuesday.
Well, that's probably, hey, that's on you, man. That's all I got to say. But, Voldy, I actually have one I completely forgot to mention before the show. I was going to, but I didn't. Voldy, there was something that happened this past weekend that hadn't happened in about a year. And our beloved Mustangs finally get the victory. Yes, the Mustangs beat Jamestown 12-7. Yes.
Welcome to Division 2,
yes.
Jamestown.
12-7. They hadn't won in a year. Oh, I'm so happy for our Mustangs, Voldy. It's been tough. It's been rough these past few years for the Mustangs. By the way, I love the hat too, as well.
Thank you.
But I'm happy for the Mustangs, and I did go down for homecoming, and yeah, it was. As I said back in the day, and obviously people still give me crap to this day about it, it didn't look good for the Mustangs. So, and they did lose 40-3, but they got the dub against Jamestown. Welcome to D2. Let's go Stangs.
Huge.
Yes, sir.
Huge.
That's why I'm switching over the hat to our SMSU MinneZona as well. So, anyway, great job with Shield Shoutouts. Voldy, obviously,
Thanks, sir.
got a lot of cool stuff. That's pretty sweet. Thanks to Jason. He's been giving me crap about the Vikings literally every week. But he finally did something good. I'm glad that he was able to send that off to you, because he's just been giving me crap for weeks now. But one day, Vikings will have their comeuppance. One day. So, anyway. Voldy, you know the deal. We got to get those picks in. Voldy understood the assignment. He got it done like right away when I mentioned it and everything like that. So, guys, get those picks in. Thursday night game is Bills and Dolphins tomorrow. Get those in, and get your Sunday ones and Monday in as well. So make sure to get that done. And this week, Voldy, what can they win? Yay!
We are giving away the orange hunting hat, MinneZona Sports Live. That is an adjustable hat as well with the mesh back. It is adjustable, very comfy. Now, me and Matt, we both have huge heads. Matt, I will say this hat fits way too well for it to be an adjustable hat. Very deep hat as well. I was pleasantly surprised the first time I tried this thing on. Nothing but compliments from people. I've sold a few. This is your chance to get it free and clear. Get those picks in, and winner will be getting this. Awesome. Of course, winner does come out on Tuesday, technically, once everything has been tabulated up. So we look forward to that. That is going to be coming up here, so definitely get those picks in.
Get those picks in ASAP, Rocky, the whole deal. So here's the deal. We got other stuff as well. We got the shirts, we got the stickers, we got the hats, we've got literally everything and anything that you would need. Obviously, for the fall coming up, it's starting to cool down, thankfully. It's been hot these last few days. We got the sweatpants, we got the shirts, we got the quarter zips, we got the stickers, we got the hats. You know it. We got it. We got the 5th anniversary hats. We got the OGs. We got the whole kit and caboodle, as Voldy can show you. The neons. Yeah, hats on hats on hats. Orange, neon. What's after that? The classic, obviously, is fantastic. And then
5th anniversary hats.
5th anniversary hats, like I have before. I have 2 of them right next to me as well. And then
got the last
one more Adidas
collab. Last one there. And, of course, the Digi Camo, American flag. Got them all there for you.
OGs, make sure you get that. You talk to us, we'll get it set up for you. Now, let's shout out to National Fleet Graphic, Tyler Knutson, and Crown Rental, and shout out to W2 Performance, Will Rotel at www.w2performance.com. The Brotherly Ballers podcast with Tyler Herman and Jack Vickers, they're getting started up, and they have been posting weekly episodes. Keep up to date on your fantasy football with those guys. We'll have them on soon as well, so keep an eye out for that. And then shout out to TLS Performance, Troy Stoudemire Jr., yes, our guy, former Gopher, killing it as usual. And make sure you check out our guys, the Popcorn Bucket List, PBL, Nick Dolhoff, and Rhino Meyerberg as well. It was good to see him 2 weeks ago. It was good to see those guys in Omni Entertainment. They're doing some awesome things. Make sure you check them out on YouTube, socials medias, the whole thing as well. So make sure to check them out. And that's going to do it for episode 253. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough on Sunday. But you know what? I still have hope. I will always have hope. Let's see if the Vikings can get it done against those Bengals. So keep an eye on that and make sure to get those picks in. One last reminder, and as always, remember, folks, keep in the zone.
Holla.
Thank you for watching MinneZona Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.